Thank you.
No, it's all good. Thank you. Okay. Hello, guys. Let's start this properly. Welcome to Space for Edit. On this channel we talk about all the things that they don't teach you in design school but you should know in the real world. And today is a vlogging day. I am going to site all across country. I am based up in Manchester in the UK, outskirts of Manchester, and the site visit is all the way down south in Southampton. So it's going to be a lovely 4.5 journey. I'm already 2 hours behind schedule. I kind of wanted to beat the traffic. Usually what we try to do if the site is all the way down south, we try to leave kind of around 12ish, so that takes about 2 hours to get past, like halfway past Birmingham. It's like a big city, there's a lot of traffic around it, so you want to get past that, have a little break, and then have the other leg of the journey. So now 2 hours, 2.5 hours will take me just before the rush hour hit, so it could go either way. I might just manage it and then I will be stuck in traffic for a while. Fingers crossed I can manage to avoid the crazy traffic. But yeah, so that's gonna be today's vlog. I have asked a few people on Instagram, well, my Instagram followers, I've asked them to send in some questions, what they want to know about site visits, and I will fill you guys in later on those questions. So it is going to be a little bit like a maybe educational twist on the vlog. It won't be like your usual just come with me, travel with me kind of vlog. So that is that. It is a chilly day. I thought I'm gonna be healthy. I'm trying to avoid coffee as much as I can, but it is freezing outside. You just saw me. I needed to sort out the car, the tires and petrol and all that, so I need some coffee. I need some coffee, man. So that is done now and we are ready to go on the way. So I will see you, I don't know, at the next stop maybe. We'll see. See you there. Let's go. Okay, we have arrived. If the receptionist is telling you that probably the best phone signal is somewhere in a car park and it's not so good in the hotel, I think that gives you a little bit of idea of what we are dealing with at the moment. Honestly, I got no idea where we are, where I am. But you know, it's an adventure. I think next time if I do something like this, I will make sure that I travel in the daytime, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be some really spectacular views on my way back tomorrow, because I'll be probably heading home around 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, depending how it goes. So it's going to be daylight, at least I will understand where I am. All I want to do now is just put my stuff down, go downstairs, have some dinner, have some wine, and then come back and I will fill you in on all the prep work that we usually do before site meetings in order for us to be ready for tomorrow for the actual site meeting. And oh yeah, and then I'll show you what sort of stuff I take with me to a site survey. And then I've got some YouTube video scripts that I want to work on. I'll probably just create like an outline on how I can be more. But yeah, first things first, let's have some food, have a drink, come back here, tell you all about the ins and outs of a site visit, and then it's probably gonna be time to okay, see you then, guys. Okay guys, well that was a super average dinner. I have got my wine. I'm not gonna drink all of this, okay? I'm not an alcoholic, but because the bar or the place where you actually eat is not like within the same building. It is the same building, but like you have to go outside to get to the bar. I was just like, no, can I just get a bottle and then, you know, I'll see what happens. I'm not gonna drink it all. I'm not gonna drink it all. Anyways, let's have a little chat about the stuff that goes on site surveys, before site surveys, during site visits, and all the things like that. Let's sit first. As always, be careful with this stuff, kids. If you're not at the right age to use that, do not use it. So I think the main questions that I got from my Instagram peeps was all about how do you prepare for a site visit, what happens on a site visit, and what do you talk about on site visit. And I'm going to touch on what do we do after site visits, but I think I'm going to talk about that tomorrow after the site visit because it's just going to make more sense. I'll probably have more like a fresher understanding and, you know, memory of what are going to be the next steps for me. So let me reintroduce myself just in case someone here is new and doesn't really know my background as an interior designer. I am a commercial interior designer, which means that I work on commercial spaces. I don't do residential projects like people's houses. The company that I work for at the moment specializes in restaurant and cafe design. Mostly we work on the catering side, so these are restaurants, cafes, and we have a team that deals with back of house design, so that is all of the kitchen stuff and really the ins and outs of that. And then we have the front of house designers, which one of them is myself, and we make everything look pretty and make sure it functions well as well. So where both of our teams work together quite well is the actual front counters. So you need equipment there, all the multi-decks and things like that. So those guys, they take care of that spec, and we make sure that the look and feel fits the client's brief and, you know, doing all the sort of stuff. So when we go back to the inquiry, we first receive inquiry from a client. Now for us, a client is not one singular person. It is more of a company that has approached us to create design for them. So for example, the site that I'm viewing tomorrow, the client there is a caterer. So they are within the space that we're going to be looking at, and they are the catering company for that cafe. So it is in their interest to make sure that the space looks good. So then they approach us to create the design for it. We work with them, we iron out all the details, then they present that design, that concept, that proposal along with their food and drink proposal, because most times they change their food and drink offer as well, and then they present it to the main client, which in this case is the museum. And then there's discussions back and forth, budgets, all of that fun stuff, and then eventually we get the thumbs up or thumbs down. So that's the sort of a chain reaction there. There's a lot of levels of approvals to go through, and that can sometimes be the more complicated, annoying part, but it's just the nature of the animal that we are working in. It's how it is. We don't work with independents. Mostly it is bigger companies that approach us, and then we work with them. So if you thought that interior designers just work with one person or a group of like independent business owners, that is not always the case. There are a lot of different ways how interior designers work, and if you do want a video about that, let me know in the comments, because I could easily talk about that. I just need to get my head straight about that. Okay, sip. Oh. And by the way, I hope the lighting here is okay. I tried to sort of set a mood, but hey ho, we'll see what it is. So in order to prepare for tomorrow's site visit, first what I've done my research about the site, I've done my research about the client, I've introduced myself, made sure that the client knows who is visiting them and how many people are going to be there on site tomorrow. We've obviously arranged the ins and outs of the time and parking situation, just all of that, just to make sure that you don't get lost, because some of these sites that we go to are quite big and there are different entrances and we are looking at different areas. So that all has been sorted out. I've done my research, so I kind of know what I'm going into. I've looked at Google images, the most recent ones that people have just posted on you know, your Google reviews. That's always quite helpful if you don't get actual site photos. Sometimes we get quite a few good ones, but I'd say more often we don't get anything. And in this case, we also have a floor plan, which I have printed out in an A3 size. This one's actually a very old floor plan. It looks like it's been drawn by hand. So we will see tomorrow how accurate that is. And I've also printed out a lot larger version of it. So this one's at A1 size, I think. So the point of these two sizes is that on this larger one, I can actually go around the room, and as I'm taking the survey, I can make notes and obviously write down the dimensions of each wall and everything. And then for the smaller one, I can also make notes, and I can maybe just put cross dims, just kind of cross-checking dims, general ones like the larger ones, and then I can put ceiling heights, and just any kind of little comments like that. Usually whatever I kind of grab first, I tend to just work on that, but it's always just good to have, I think, two sizes to play with, just to see what the situation is like. Sometimes you don't have that much time to be really looking into every single little detail and measure it up and then write it down on it, but sometimes you do, so you never know what you can end up with. I've also got little checklists there of the things that I need. Some of them are ceiling heights, cross dimensions, window heights, existing servery, location and dimensions, existing lighting, existing covers. So as we are looking at the restaurant, we don't quite know yet, because we haven't really had a proper brief what actually we are going to be doing, whether we are just looking at the servery, the counters and just that, or are we looking at the whole dining space. So I've made sure that if we are looking at dining space, that I need to know how many existing bums on seats there are, so for the next proposal we know what we're dealing with. And then I just got a few extra sticky notes if I need to make some extra notes and I don't lose it. Speaking of notes, a notebook. This one's just with plain this one is just with plain lines, nothing too interesting, really just to take notes, take the brief, write down ideas that I get on the spot. Yeah, it's a notebook. It does the thing that notebooks need to do. Sip. Coming out thick and fast. Okay, and then another thing that we have is a briefing document. There's a few pages. How many pages we've got? 3-4 pages in this. I'm not going to show you the detail of it, because obviously that's all private for the company. This document is for our quantity surveyor team. So these guys, I can say guys because they are all guys in the office there, that team help us with budgets. So they basically put together all the quotes, which is how much everything's going to cost. We create the design, we brief them in, we make sure this is filled in, so they've got all the information that they need in order to go out to suppliers, to contractors. You know, they approach multiple contractors to make sure we got the best prices for the project. They put it all together in one document, and then we can issue a client-friendly version afterwards. So some of the information that I'm gonna have on this, or I will need to take note of, is just the general details of the project name. Let's say it is a restaurant called this and that. Location, so that's the address. Client, so who is the client or the company client. And then project type. What are we doing for this client? Is it just design? Is it design, supply and install? Is it just a conceptual proposal? So that's kind of a brief intro there. Then we've got all the in-house references that we need to make note of. Project numbers, drawing numbers and things like that. Contact details, so what's the first person to go to. Floor location, area, what area in the whole building we're looking at. Lead designer name, budget, if we manage to get that number out of a client. This is so hard to get, and it's weird. I don't know why people are afraid to give us the sort of estimate budget, or maybe the amount of money that they have. I think it's something that's just been inherited from the past, when people think that if you give them an amount of the money that you have, then people will take advantage of you. But actually it's working in everyone's favor. If we are designing to a non-existent budget, we don't really know what we are designing for. I could be designing a high-level space, you know, super high-level finishes and all of that, whereas they might only have 40-50k to spend. So we would probably have to look at something more budget friendly, something more simplified, less design detail, less complicated. So yeah, that's just one of the struggles. Then we've got all the deadlines for costs, for design, and on site, rough estimates, when do we need to be on site and when do we need to be finished. Then it's just like a general description of the brief. They don't really need to know like super details in and outs. It's just kind of general brief. Then we have a checklist of the things that we are keeping, maybe things that need to be new, and sometimes nice to have. Okay, and these are just questions. These are really just reminders for myself as I am on the site. I can kind of tick box exercise them, and it's all just going through all the floors, ceiling, walls, lighting and things like that, and then I can make notes of that. And when I go back to the office, I got a list and I really know what I can keep, what we need new, and what would be nice to have. Then we just got some comments about branding, because sometimes we get like a brand manual that we need to work with. Then it's more like the catering side checklist. So whereas the first checklist was maybe from the front of house, then there's a catering or back of house checklist as well. So that's all regarding equipment, specific stations, counters, all that. Oh, and then there's another checklist which is really specifically to the QS team. QS meaning quantity survey team, which is really for them to know what trades we will need to bring in. Will we need to bring in electrician, plumbing, ventilation? Is there an asbestos survey done? Do we need them? Do we need structural engineers? Is the building listed? So there's all of these restrictions that we need to be aware of, because that is going to affect the overall cost of the whole project. And that's why it's very important to make notes of them on the spot, because most of the times when you try to reach out to the client afterwards, it's quite hard to get that information no matter how many times you ask, because people are busy. Just this project alone is not the only thing that they are dealing with in their daily lives, so they might not even have a chance to look for that information, but for us it is super important. Okie dokie. And then just other notes. Yeah, that's it. That's the checklist. What else I've got? Oh, different color pens, pencils, whatever you prefer to work with. I've got red, blue, black. So let's say with the red one, I'll be taking dimensions. I'll be writing down dimensions. With the blue one, I might write down ceiling heights or any kinds of heights, and then with the black one, I'm just making general notes. It's just easier than to see the plan, or sometimes when you don't have a PDF plan like I have there, you might need to just draw up a plan from scratch. So you could use the black pen to just draw up the walls, windows and all of that, openings and things, and then with the red one you are making note of the dimensions. So again, when you go back to the office, it might not be you know, it might not be me who's going to be actually doing the work. That happens often, that someone else goes to site and then in the office someone else is actually working on it, and then it's passed on to people and things like that. So you need to make sure that when you take the brief and when you do your site survey, that everything's kind of spot on. And then I've got a good old tape measure. Oh dear. Yeah, works. Tape measure and a laser. So yeah, little guy helps massively. A little laser, I think there's a proper word for it. No, I don't know, I just say laser measure. but I know that that is not the proper name for it. These little guys are handy for maybe sometimes when you have columns or you've got like little tiny bits coming out of the wall, then they are handy. And obviously the laser is just when you are measuring the longer distances and walls and ceiling heights and things like that. Oh, and then obviously camera, phone, whatever you are using, take videos, take photos. On my to-do list is to film a video about how to do site survey properly, how to take photos and how to take videos. So subscribe if you want to see that in the future. Make sure it's charged. Ooh, make sure you got enough memory on your device, whatever you are using to, you know, take the photos. Laptop, that's quite handy to have, just in case you need to check something online, or maybe you want to show some designs or something that you've done research, or even afterwards. Sometimes I would have the brief document, so this one here, I would have it in a Word format so I can just quickly type it in, save it on the system, and the other design team members can view it, and I can upload the photos, and it all goes, you know, we're all connected, and in case someone can jump on it or start working straight away instead of waiting for me to go back, brief everyone in and do all that. So I think that's really it. Do your research. Make sure you got all the tools that you need. Make sure you know the questions that you're going to ask, the information that you need in order to provide your service, and yeah, just go and smash it. Make sure you got the contact details of your client in case in the morning something goes wrong, or whatever time you are going to your site survey. If something happens and you can't make it, make sure you've got the mobile number of your client. That's it. I think I'm gonna calm down now and do my little bits for the evening, do my YouTube video scripts. What time is it now? Phone's gone dead. I don't know, I think it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock. My meeting is tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I think it's about half an hour drive away, although I've got no idea where I am at the moment. So it said half an hour on Google Maps when I checked it the other day, but it might not be, so whew. We'll see about that. I hope this part of the video was useful. Let me know if you got any comments, any questions down in the comment section below. But other than that, I will see you tomorrow morning. We'll go do the site visit, and then I'll let you know what we do after the site visit, which I've probably already talked about, but anyways, I'll talk about it again tomorrow. So peace out, good night. Idea where I am. Alright, good morning. I am booted and suited and make-upped up, ready to go and seize the day. I have still got no idea where I am. I kind of looked outside. You can see a few houses and some cars on the roads, but that's about it. Ready to go for some breakfast, and then we're off to site, which, yes, it is about 20-minute drive away, so it's not that bad, hopefully. Yeah, so let's do that. And by the way, a quick tip for site visits: wear pants with pockets, because you will need to put things, your phone, your camera, your measure tape, pens, everything. They will go all over the place. So if you got handy pockets, then you're all sorted. There you go. Learn from a pro. Right, so I just walked up to the car, and guess what? I find all over my windscreen bird poo. Should I count it as luck? Is that like a luck thing? Is it a good thing? I don't know. I know it can't be. Oh, shut up. 20 minutes to site. 8:30. That should give me a nice 10 minutes in case I get lost. It's quite nice around here, to be honest. Green and stuff as expected. It's quite a gloomy day, which is a shame. I thought it will be a nice sunny day. I wanted the beach as well, because we are quite close to the coast, and just have a nice little walk. Don't know if that's gonna happen now. Okay, I'll check in with you when I'm on site. Okay, bye. Hey, let's see. Oh, I didn't ask for sauce. So I went for the plant burger. Okay, I think this is a little bit better, slightly better angle than the one before. Also, why is it that whenever you decide to do an Insta story or vlog or do something in a car, someone just, and you find the right spot in a car park, no cars around, and the second you press record or you're ready to record, someone else just pulls up right next to you. Anyways, let's have a quick recap on the site visit because it's already 2 o'clock. It is Friday, and Friday traffic on the motorway is insane. It's sort of midweek, it's sort of weekend traffic, so people are traveling up and down. So at the moment it's telling me sort of roughly 5 hours, just under 5 hours. I think it's probably going to be more like 6 hours with traffic. But site visit went well, very inspiring. I thought, why not take advantage of the whole experience, and I went all over the museum on that little train across the grounds and all that. That was very fun and very inspiring, which we will definitely take into our proposal. I don't think there's much I can add to what I already told you regarding tips and tricks. So what's going to happen now, because I need to get on the road, I don't really have much time to put anything on the computer. I've just got my written notes. So it is Friday, so on Monday when I start, I will make sure that I put it all on the system and brief in whoever is going to be working on it, whether it's going to be me or someone else from the team. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We are going to be touching base with the client at some point next week to get maybe more detail, because we don't really know some facts that we need to know, if that makes sense. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you found this video useful, and if you have any questions, pop them down in the comment section. As always, I'm here to chat. I'm here to, you know, make more videos if you need to. I'm definitely making a video about how to do site surveys properly, so subscribe, make sure you tune in for that. Also, if you want to see more of these little snippets, ins and outs of my interior design and just general life, make sure you follow me on Instagram and send me a DM if you want to chat. Other than that, this girl needs to get on the road and go home where normal life resumes with a baby that wakes up multiple times at night. Fun! It's all fun. It's all fun and games. Thanks guys for sticking around with me over these 2 days. Go and have a smashing day. See you soon!